This is extremely interesting. The New York Jets just hired former Detroit Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn to be their head coach. And he just hired former 49ers defensive coordinator Steve Wilks to be his defensive coordinator. So that means that the 49ers now have to hire a defensive coordinator who's better than Wilks. That's the bar. He was in demand. There was a market for Wilks. They could have had Wilks. They fired Wilks. Now he's Aaron Glenn's defensive coordinator. And frankly, Aaron Glenn is one of the better defensive coaches in the league. So Steve Wilks, clearly respected, did a good job with the 49ers. Not up to their standards. I guess they have really high standards, which is somehow how they ended up with Nick Sorensen as their defensive coordinator for a year. Now he's been reassigned to what we don't know yet. Hopefully not anything important like special teams coordinator. But he's out, and it doesn't sound like any other team is inquiring about him to be their defensive coordinator, and that's because he stinks. He's terrible. He never should have been the 49ers defensive coordinator. Isn't that kind of embarrassing that, well, as soon as Steve Wilks was available during the heart of a hiring process, he got scooped up by a good coach? I mean, of course he did. He's really good. Meanwhile, Nick Sorensen will never be a defensive coordinator again because he never should have been one. What a misstep. So, okay, you made a huge error. You made an emotional mistake after losing a Super Bowl. You blamed him for the loss when it wasn't his fault and he was a good coach. Happens. You get a mulligan for that one. You get a do-over. But this coach that you hire has to be better than Steve Wilks. He's probably going to be better than Nick Sorensen because I don't know how you could be worse. But it has to be better than Wilks because Wilks theoretically still could be the defensive coordinator of this team, and he's good. If they get Robert Saleh, great. He's a hell of a defensive coach. But if they don't, who are they going to get who's better than Wilks at this point? Brandon Staley? I didn't see Aaron Glenn trying to hire him. I don't think that Brandon Staley's a better defensive coordinator than Steve Wilks. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Aaron Glenn is wrong. But the Niners better be right with this one, because if they botch the defensive coordinator hire 2 years in a row and he's one and done yet again, that's another fireable offense on a long list of fireable offenses committed by Kyle Shanahan. So don't hire Brandon Staley.